Chapter 1. Unveiling the Crisis. Imagine a world where every child has access to quality education. Sounds ideal, right? But in reality, how far are we from achieving this goal? As we speak, a global education crisis is unfolding, casting a long, dark shadow over our collective future. It's a crisis that's more than just about numbers. It's about real people, real lives, and real dreams being thwarted. A crisis that's not limited to one country, one region, or one social class, but one that stretches far and wide, touching every corner of our planet. In the world's wealthiest nations, you'll find children who can't read or write at grade level. In the developing world, millions of children aren't just behind on their studies. They're deprived of the chance to even step inside a classroom. The stark disparity in access to quality education between different regions and social classes is not just a concerning fact, it's a damning indictment of our global society. It's a crisis that seeps into the very fabric of individuals, communities, and societies. It's a silent thief, robbing children of their potential, hindering social mobility, and stunting economic growth. It's a crisis that's not just about learning math, science, or languages. It's about learning to dream, to hope, and to strive for a better future. The ripples of this crisis extend far beyond the confines of the classroom. It fuels inequality, poverty, and social unrest. It breeds disillusionment, despair, and a sense of hopelessness. It's a crisis that's not just about today, it's about tomorrow, and all the tomorrows that follow. So, why is this happening? Why, in the 21st century, are we still grappling with such a fundamental issue? Why are we failing our children, our future? Why are we allowing this crisis to continue unchecked, unchallenged, and unresolved? So, what's stopping us from providing quality education to all? Let's uncover the dark motivations behind this crisis. Chapter 2. The Dark Motivation. You might be wondering, what could possibly be the dark motivation behind limiting access to quality education? The answer is multifaceted, complex, and deeply rooted in our societal structures. Let's start with political motivations. Often, education is used as a political tool, manipulated to serve specific interests. This can range from controlling the narrative taught in schools to limiting the accessibility of education based on geographic location. The result? A generation of students left uninformed, underprepared, and unable to question the status quo. Next, we have economic motivations. Quality education costs money. It requires investment in infrastructure, teacher training, learning materials, and more. But unfortunately, in many parts of the world, these investments are deemed less important than other sectors. The consequence is an education system that is underfunded, understaffed, and unable to provide the level of education necessary for students to thrive in the modern world. Then there are social motivations. Education is a powerful equalizer. It can bridge the gap between different social classes and provide a pathway for upward mobility. But for those who benefit from maintaining the existing social hierarchy, providing equal access to quality education is a threat. This results in a vicious cycle where the lack of access to quality education perpetuates social inequality and hinders social mobility. Lastly, systemic motivations. Our education systems, by and large, are outdated. They were designed during the Industrial Revolution, a time when conformity, obedience, and rote memorization were valued above creativity, critical thinking, and individuality. This outdated system continues to churn out students who are ill-prepared for the demands of the 21st century. In conclusion, the dark motivation behind the education crisis is not a single, identifiable villain. It is a complex web of political, economic, social, and systemic factors that perpetuate inequality and hinder progress. Understanding these factors is the first step towards revolutionizing learning worldwide. Chapter 3: The Impact of the Crisis. Now that we've identified the motivations behind the crisis, let's examine the ripple effects of this educational disparity. The impacts of limited access to quality education extend far beyond the classroom walls. They permeate every aspect of society, casting long shadows on economic development, social stability, and individual growth. Let's start with the economy. Education is the bedrock of any thriving economy. It equips individuals with the skills they need to contribute effectively to their communities. But when access to quality education is limited, we see a significant drop in economic productivity and innovation. The world loses out on untapped potential, and entire communities are left behind in the race towards progress. Next, let's delve into the social implications. Education isn't just about acquiring skills for employment. It's also about learning how to engage with others, how to think critically, and how to solve problems. It shapes our worldview and our understanding of right and wrong. When access to this vital resource is denied, it breeds social instability. We see increased rates of crime, civic disengagement, and a lack of social cohesion. Finally, on a personal level, the effects can be heartbreaking. Imagine a young mind brimming with curiosity and potential, yet stifled by a lack of educational opportunities. This isn't just about missed career opportunities, it's about lost dreams, stifled creativity, and suppressed voices. It's about individuals who are unable to realize their full potential because they were denied a chance to learn and grow. To put it into perspective, think about this. Nearly 500 million children and youth worldwide are not reaching minimum proficiency levels in reading and mathematics, according to a report by the United Nations. That's 500 million dreams deferred, 500 million futures compromised. The repercussions of this crisis are far-reaching, but there's hope. Let's explore the solutions that can turn the tide. Chapter 4: Revolutionizing Learning. We've delved into the problem, but what about the solution? How can we revolutionize learning and overcome this crisis? Indeed, in the face of adversity, innovation often shines brightest. Across the globe, many are already stepping up to this challenge, creating groundbreaking solutions to revolutionize learning as we know it. Let's look at a few examples. Take, for instance, the concept of flipped classrooms. Instead of the traditional approach where students passively receive information in class and then do their homework at home, this model flips the script. Students engage with new material at home, then come to class ready to discuss, analyze, and apply what they've learned. This method encourages active learning and critical thinking, fostering a more engaging and effective educational experience. Now, imagine if this concept were taken a step further, transcending the walls of the traditional classroom altogether. This is where digital learning platforms come into play. They offer interactive courses and resources accessible to anyone, anywhere, at any time. These platforms level the playing field, providing quality education to those who may not have had access to it otherwise. Moreover, there are initiatives that focus on experiential learning, believing that the most effective education comes from doing and experiencing. These programs often integrate real-world challenges and hands-on projects into their curriculum, equipping students not just with knowledge, but also with practical skills and experiences. Let's also not overlook the importance of teacher training and support. By equipping educators with the tools and resources they need, we empower them to deliver quality education and inspire their students. These examples are just a few of the numerous innovative solutions out there, each one a beacon of hope in the face of the education crisis. They illustrate that with creativity, determination, and collective action, we can break down barriers and ensure access to quality education for all. These solutions are just the beginning. Now, it's time for each of us to take action. Chapter 5. Call to Action. Change starts with you. Yes, you sitting behind the screen, watching this video. Now that we've uncovered the dark motivations behind the education crisis and explored its profound impact, it's time to move from understanding to action. Because change, real change, doesn't just happen. It's a result of deliberate collective action. You might be wondering, where do I fit into this? What can I possibly do to make a difference? The answer is simple a lot. You have the power to create a ripple effect of change, starting right now, right where you are. Consider supporting organizations dedicated to improving access to quality education. These groups work tirelessly, often against great odds, to ensure that every child, regardless of their circumstance, gets a fair shot at learning. Your support, whether it's financial or volunteering your time and skills, can go a long way in helping these organizations reach more children. Advocating for policy changes is another powerful way to effect change. Use your voice to lobby for reforms that prioritize education, especially for the most disadvantaged. Write to your representatives, participate in peaceful protests, sign petitions. Every action counts. But don't stop there. Participate in educational initiatives in your community. Mentor a child, tutor a student, or share your skills and knowledge. The beauty of education is that it's a gift that keeps on giving. The more you share, the more you learn, the more you grow, and the more others grow with you. The power of collective action in driving change cannot be overstated. When we band together, when we decide that every child deserves access to quality education, we can move mountains. We can revolutionize learning. We can create a world where every child, regardless of their circumstance, has the opportunity to flourish. As we wrap up, remember, every child deserves access to quality education. Together, we can make this a reality.